Welcome to On Writing with Onkarabile, the show that aims to promote reading and writing in our communities, restoring pride and dignity of Africans through the power of reading and writing. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are joined by Sympathy Mangwenya, all the way from Zimbabwe via Skype. Sympathy, thank you so much for coming to our show.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be right here with you.
Thank you. It has been long. We have been planning this. Thank you so much. Let's start maybe just briefly, by you explaining, telling us about yourself just briefly before we get into our topic.
So I'm a person, I always say to people that I'm a person that doesn't love to be caged, which means I will not just say, this is who I am, and then it ends there. I would need the whole day. But in short, I'm an entrepreneur running a food manufacturing business, and I also run a publishing company, and I am also a TV presenter with a local station, and I'm also a founder of a women writers organization, which deals mainly with writing therapy. So I think that's it in a short.
All right. The last one. Let's just go to the last one. Women Writers Support Network Africa. And I believe that that's where you are very passionate about women putting their thoughts or their experiences, their stories down, right?
Yes, I am really passionate about telling our authentic stories. I believe every person should be able to tell their own stories by themselves, because when you allow other people to detect things around you, they tell wrong stories. So even if it's someone who's going to ghostwrite on your behalf, but it has to be your authentic stories. So with Women Writers Support Network Africa, what we do, we use words to heal. What we are doing is like using what we call writing therapy, because writing therapy is a form of healing that is accessible, that is affordable, and that is private. And having realized what women go through in our society, in our nations, in the whole world, we realize that usually women suffer in silence and in silos. We think that I am just the only person that's going through this. But when we come together, when we network as women and share our problems, they are half solved. And then we also writing them for authenticity, so that they are also helping someone else who's going through the same thing, so that they know that there are solutions or they're not alone. Yeah, it's a very big vision that amplifies our stories as African women.
Oh, okay, nice. I think you have answered what was going to be my next question of saying, why did you choose women? So I think you have mentioned that most of the time women are actually silent. So your aim is to encourage them to actually voice out their experiences, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, I was just checking the research, and they have shown that 75.8% of authors, worldwide, were male. And I was concerned about that, and I want to ask you, since you started this organization or campaign, where are the other women actually when we have a lot of male putting their thoughts down?
So historically, women have always taken a back seat when it comes to writing, amongst other things. That's why you see women are pushing themselves, they're breaking glass ceilings, pushing themselves into different areas of life. So we are celebrating a lot of firsts for women. So here, this is the first. So for women, actually, it's double-barreled, because you are a first Black woman. So for many Black Africans, it's a first women, Black person has done this and that. So it doesn't exclude writing. So that's why we are pushing for women to write for publication. It's not that women do not write. They write, a lot of notes, a lot of love letters, a lot of journals, a lot of text messages, a lot of social media posts and everything. But going that extra mile of saying, I am writing for publication, for public consumption, I think that's where women have been lagging behind. But we have seen a lot of women also rising right now to say we are also putting our pens and paper to use and making sure that our voices are heard wherever. So it's something that is being pushed, and I'm glad that women are taking that step.
Okay. And if we can just go back, what made them to lack to publicize their work?
All right, so this is not really just one answer question. We do have things like from a research that we've done as the Women Writers Support Network, we have things like self-esteem issues, where people just think, is this good enough? And then you have issues like women are busy being mothers, being wives, and running their jobs. And when it comes to writing, they're like, okay, I can do it maybe as a hobby, but to publish. So it's something where people don't think, women especially just don't think, I should, I could. But then now we have so many role models. Because also traditionally we've had a lot of male writers being role models. But now when you see a certain woman also making noise out there, taking strides, doing it, you also feel like, okay, if this woman could do it, I can do it as well.
That's true. And I mean, it has been said that writing is an important tool for women to voice out their experiences. Do you agree? Why is it important tool? If you agree with that quote.
All right. Did I get that right to say writing is good to air out your grievances?
No, writing is an important tool for women to voice out their experiences.
Oh, yes, I do agree. Because if you remember, like in my introduction, when I say that women go through different experiences and they do it in silos and in silence, which means we have been taught that a good woman keeps quiet. A good woman doesn't. In Shona, actually, we have a Shona saying right here that says, "Usafukura hapa," which means do not air out what's hidden in your armpits, but we have rich experiences. We have so many experiences that we could share, and writing provides that outlet for sharing our experiences. And we have seen this happening with our Writers Support Network group, where we have been writing our experiences this is actually our third year. Our third project, where we're going to actually launch sometime in December. We're launching stories of experiences of women, and those stories are so rich and so authentic. So yes, writing does provide a platform for sharing your experiences as women.
Oh, that's great. So tell me, what's your maybe your plan or your lifetime dream about the network of reaching women? Do you aim to reach women in other countries, or you're only focusing in Zimbabwe for now? What's your dream?
All right, so I was saying that our dream in the next 5 years is to reach the rest of Africa. And so far, we have launched other African countries into the chapter. So already, including Zimbabwe, we have 6 countries that we have launched into the network. And the message is the same: writing therapy, providing healing through writing, and making sure that women have a voice of telling their authentic stories from wherever we are. I may never in my lifetime go to Egypt, although I would love to go there, but I may never go there. But I can read something that a woman in Egypt is going through, and I can also identify from it. I can learn from it. I can replicate it right here in my country, and I can probably earn a living from it. So it is my wild dream to create a united Africa of women writers, where we are networking, where we're exchanging notes, where we are we could actually like boost each other's businesses. For example, my products from Zimbabwe could be sold in South Africa, could be sold in Rwanda, in different countries, and that would be good for my economic, situation. And it can also be an exchange. We could actually we could actually travel to Rwanda and also boost someone's business from there. So it's a wild dream, but it's something that I feel like can be achieved, because already 6 countries have said yes to this call and are already setting up their platforms. It means it's something that can work. It's something that I believe will work.
No, indeed. And up to so far, you are saying it's now your 3rd year, right?
All right, so it's our 3rd project, but this is our 2nd year.
Oh, okay, 3rd project. Okay. And for now, how many maybe writers have you produced who have published their work?
So these will be general statistics. So we have, I'll just raise to the screen. I don't know if it will be visible.
Yes, it is. Seasons, yeah.
Yes. So this was our first project that we did together as Zimbabwean women. So we did a call to say, it might be hard to publish a whole book alone, but we could bring our stories together. And this was our first story, where we had 18 women come through and write their experiences in this one. And then we also had a project where we partnered with the Embassy of the State of Palestine, where we're also writing in solidarity with women in Palestine. And the embassy funded that project. And we have more than 50 women who came through and wrote into that anthology. And then we have the one that's our 2023 production, which is Seasons 2. And this one has brought in 11 women. So these are collective efforts.
Oh, nice.
But from the there are people that have also gone on to write their own stories on their own novels, their own motivational books, their own poetry anthologies, and we celebrate them. The number is plus or minus 10.
Oh, no, that's
so great. We have what we've done as the collective, but we also have things that we have done individually.
Thank you so much, Sympathy. Let's just go for a short break. Then when we come back, we continue with our discussion.
The Creative Corner with Nolo Knowles, a cozy and inspiring show that features interviews with artists, showcases their work, challenges, and successes. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only on Share Radio. Tune in live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. This is Share Radio.
Welcome back to On Writing with Onkarabile, the show that aims to promote reading and writing in our communities. We are still having Sympathy Mangwenya, all the way from Zimbabwe, and she has joined us via Skype. Sympathy, thank you so much once again for your time. I want us to discuss the issue of, because you made example about novels, poetry, and also inspirational books. So I wanted to know, is the foundation or the organization rather only looking at women publishing the books, or are you looking at writing in general, like your magazine, your newspapers? Because I understand that you also were embarking on the online magazine. So are you only looking at the books?
Oh, all right. Thank you for that question. No, we are not looking at just books. We are looking at writing as writing. So I'll just take you back to when we started this initiative. We did what we were calling masterclasses, which we are also going to replicate in the other countries that we're working with. So with masterclasses, we were teaching people to write different genres. So we called in different trainers who are experts in whatever field they have, be it short stories, be it magazine writing, be it copywriting for, your social media, your websites, be it blog writing, be it script writing for movies. Whatever writing there is, it can be like writing in partnership with gifts companies, where you are just helping people write their vows for their weddings, helping people to write poetry for their loved ones, and things like that. So writing is writing, not books. What we're saying is that please just write, whether to be
No, that's interesting.
For business, whether it's going to be writing for you to write that your children that are coming through in the next generations can know your story, can know that Sympathy was once here, and these are actually your words. Yes. As long as it's writing.
That's true. That's true. You know, you spoke about role model, earlier. So there are quite a few women, across Africa who are very good writers. So I want to know from you if you guys look up rather to those women. We have a lady from Nigeria, Chimamanda Ngozi. She's a very good writer. She's well known. Here in South Africa, we have the likes of Jackie Pamotse, Dudu Busani, who are really doing a very good job. So I want to know from you, do you look up to such women?
Oh, definitely. They paved the way for us. So yes, these are actually our soldiers in the battle of recognition. So we really look up to women who have, who have met their mark and are still making their mark. So we look up to all those women. Even internationally, you have the likes of Issa Rae, Shonda Rhimes. So you have different people, even people that are making noise right now. We also, in our country, we have people that have made noise, like Petina Gapa, you have Tsitsi Dangaremba, you have Yvonne Vera, and then you have other upcoming people that are still making noise. So we do look up to our comrades in writing.
Nice. And, let's just speak about, maybe involve the government or politics just a little bit. Is there anything that the government is doing to actually, help such initiative that you guys are embarking on?
So yes, you do have like memorandums of understanding where the government gives you a platform for support, but we hope in the future it can get to be also financial support that can encourage. Because yes, the government does help to give platforms to people to write, and also even when it comes to curriculums, they are pushing, the aspect of creativity, because right now we are no longer using even the old curriculums that we used to use that were written decades ago. We are constantly replenishing and being asked to write stories that are modern. So this provides a platform for modern day writers to also contribute to curriculums which are spearheaded by the different ministries, be it Ministry of Education, of ministries that are spearheading these issues. So yes, we want to applaud the government for also providing these platforms, but as people that want progress and want to also get to international standards, we keep on asking for more and more help and assistance, and as well as stakeholder coordination with our different ministries.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me hear this from you. We do talk about, encouraging women to write their stories, to voice out their experiences, to journal their issues out. Do women read? Let's talk about reading now. Do women read? Do you encourage also reading when it comes to this topic?
So I always am asked this question, and I think I provide a very controversial answer, because every time I'm always asked to say, was that truthful? Was that honest? But the women that I know who are part of the women writers actually cry for books. They read a lot. They read because books are their friends. Books are their way of escaping, and books are their way of getting into a different reality that helps deal with their mental health issues. So yes, women do read. But when you hear at times women getting overwhelmed and not finding time to read, they're busy with as we've mentioned, they're busy with being at home, pushing, taking care of everyone at home, and also maybe working. You have, in Zimbabwe, you have a lot of an entrepreneurship where you go to work 8 to 5, 8 to 4, and then after that, you also have your hustles, and you're also taking care of the family. You're also taking care of different things. So sometimes reading is the last thing. But I've seen that sometimes, and most times, people are always on their phones reading some type of material.
Okay, all right.
And people also share their stories in long form, their stories in books and things like that. So I will not say that there is complete complacency when it comes to reading. I think women do read a lot. But what is it that they are reading?
Okay. And in your network, you also encourage them to actually read, not only to write.
Yes, because you can't be a writer without reading.
That's true.
Your work will be very shallow. You need to research deep. You need to go.
Exactly.
Yes, yeah.
So apart from you, do we have more organizations that encourage or do what you are doing? Or up to so far, maybe you know yours only the organization that you have founded that does go out there and encourage women to write?
So we have different organizations, but sometimes because of funding, you have some organizations that have just gone for 2 years and just been they're non-existent right now. Because when I was younger, I used to be part of a writers network that was called Budding Writers Association. This was for both men and women, but it's no longer there now. I used to also be part of women writers, which brought older women and very young women and helping with mentorship. But those organizations are no longer there. This organization is very unique. Our organization is very unique in that we have been pushing a lot from, little or no funding. And now that we want to expand, we are hoping we'll get more funding. So we are hoping that our organization will not also face the demise of many other organizations that have lived before us. So now this is an organization that we know of, that I know of, because I don't want people to quote me. Maybe there are some organizations out there for spearheading women writers, uniquely women. So for me, this is the organization that I know right now, which is spearheading women as writers. So,
you mentioned a very important tool that, other organizations, they are nowhere to be found now that you knew of. Now, and you are hoping that yours will not do the same. But what then keeps you going? What do you think will actually make you to stand the test of time?
All right. For us, we're not just waiting for funding. We do love funding because I know that this show is very well watched, and I don't want to be on record saying that we don't need funding. We do need funding. But what also sets us apart is that we're not just looking at one thing. We're not just looking at subscriptions. Yes, we want people to subscribe to our network, and that will also help us with day-to-day running. But we're also into different businesses. We're also selling books. We're also partnering with different stakeholders and providing copywriting services, ghostwriting services, and helping even with marketing. We also even groom a lot of public speakers. So through our masterclasses as well, we have masterclasses where we are training people in different initiatives, like I mentioned before, script writing. You have different genres that you're writing for. All those trainings provide a way of making an income that is poured back into our organization. We also do events, and we're also pouring back into our organization. So we are hoping this and more can help to expand our horizons and to keep us in here. And also because we are now expanding to different African nations, this is also a move that will make sure that if a certain country is sleeping on the job, the other countries will be like, okay, no, you don't need to do this. And then there will be an interdependence that will help to keep this organization going on and on.
Yes. And up to so far, is the project that you said you are on the third project right now? Is it promising? Is it coming up to your satisfaction?
Oh yes, there is a level of growth that I have noticed from the first initiative. This one has brought in. The first one was more because we just asked women to say, it on paper, write whatever you're feeling. And some were hesitant, some wrote a lot of fiction, which is okay because what we wanted for women to write. But with this project that we are working on, the third one that we're launching in December, there has been a lot of heartfelt stories that are real. Because when a story is real, it's not just helping me as the writer to bleed on paper, to heal, to write my feelings down. It's also helping another woman, another person who is going through an experience and will say, I identify with this. I think if she has conquered, then I will also conquer. It's a way of motivation. And it's not just in this generation, it's in the next generation. It's not just in my country. It's wherever. This is a global market. It's whoever is going to read this will say, okay, this story is so authentic, it's so real. And I think if this person was able to conquer, if this person was able to do this, to break these glass ceilings, then I can do it too. No, so indeed. I am very impressed with that offering.
Indeed. This Sympathy, we are just going to go for our short break. And when we come back, we are just going to wrap up our discussion. And I want us to look now at the media space. I know you are in media, you are also a TV presenter. So I want us to look at the media space. If you guys are planning to penetrate also the media space, to use media space rather, to actually advance this powerful initiation that you guys have started. So let's just go for a short break. Then when we come back, you will just take us through the plans and the idea of entering the media space. Welcome back to On Writing with Onkarabile, the show that aims to promote reading and writing in our communities, restoring pride and dignity of Africans through the power of reading and writing. We still have Sympathy Mangwenya all the way from Zimbabwe, and she joined us via Skype. Sympathy, as we are going to wrap up this discussion, I've said it before we went for break that I want you to maybe share with us, since you are in media, what's your idea or the plans that you guys have to penetrate media space?
So we are really fortunate to have a media space that is responsive. So when it comes even to our group, we do have a lot of members in there who are part of the media. So whenever we want to amplify an issue, we just raise it, and we know it will be taken by this print media company, by this online blog, by this TV station. For example, now we have been pushing the issue of writing therapy as a way to help people deal with their mental health. So we have had We have been featured a lot of times, and this has helped amplify our stories, because the media is very, very important. It can either make or break you. It can either make or break an initiative. And so far, we are very fortunate for the media being our partner in our different messaging.
That's great. That's great. And your magazine, you also you have founded a magazine. Are you still active on the magazine?
All right. So the magazine, I am a columnist. I do have a column that I write, which features different Africans, what they are doing. So wherever you are, we are featuring. I think I should have featured you sometime.
You did.
I don't. Yes. So what I do, because I'm acutely positive, like I really am positive. I love telling positive stories, because I feel like we tell negative stories a lot because they are happening. We don't want to undermine that. They are happening. So many people are being killed. So many people are ill and different things. But we also have positive stories and positive people that are coming out of our African continent, which some people have termed the Black continent. But there is so much positivity that is coming from here. So that's what I write on my column in the My Africa magazine. And yeah, I continue to spread positive stories. And yes, I am still writing in that.
Okay. So do you perhaps plan to include other women from your cycle, from the network, to come also to just, voice out their view on the magazine?
Yes, and also as we're getting into 2024, one of our mandates also is to have our own magazine that will be written by all these women, because when it comes to My Africa magazine, they might not have enough space for all these women, but we're also having our own magazine where we are going to be writing stories, and this is going to feature all the African countries. They can contribute into this magazine that we are going to have.
Okay. So let me just ask this, funny question. Since you are focusing mainly on women, so are you making it clear to men that you are not excluding them, but the reason why you are focusing on women?
All right, that's a good one. But I also say that we actually have some men on board. Like when it comes to the coordinator of the Women Writers Support Network, is a guy, because we believe we're not radical feminists. That has to be said. We are people that believe in inclusivity. We are people that believe in co-learning. So we do have some men on board who also help us with programming, who also help us to spread the saying that let's stop domestic violence, let's stop the different things. So while we are amplifying the voice of the women, because Onka, we want to stop all that, we want to bridge that gap of the percentages that you once raised, was it 75.8% and all that. We want to bridge that gap. That's why we are focusing more on women. But while we're focusing on women, we are also working with men to make sure that we drive our initiative through.
No, well said, well said. Sympathy, I think, we are about to come to our end of the conversation. I'm just going to ask you to give some encouraging words, to women out there, particularly those who are watching the show, just encouragement about putting their thoughts down, publishing their work, putting their work out there to be seen and to be known. What can you say to them?
All right. So I want to say to the woman who's watching right now, to say that believe in yourself. You're not a biological mistake. No matter how you came into this world, you were planned by God. And whatever you have to say is very worthy. So everyone has a unique story. Own your story. Own it. It's yours. And it has come to you however it has come to you. It is your story. It was given to you so that it can edify someone else. It can add something into someone else's life. And no story is too little to be told. No story is unworthy to be told. So I want you, the woman, to believe in yourself, to believe in your story, to know that you have gone through whatever you have gone through so that you can share it with another person. And also, I want to encourage women never to go through anything alone. Do not suffer in silos. Do not suffer in silence. Speak out and join initiatives like the Women Writers Support Network, where you meet like-minded women, where you meet women who have fought different things, whether it's on a grander scale or on a smaller scale, but they have fought and conquered, and they will, remind you that you are worthy. And in ending, I will say you are very, very important. No matter what you're going through, it will come to pass.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for such words. And if people want to get hold of you, Sympathy, maybe they want to get your books and as an individual, and also the one that you guys have collaborated on, the seasons, and some want to join your network, maybe, in Zimbabwe, or if online you do provide such, where can they get hold of you?
All right, so the best would be to look at my social media platforms. It's Sympathy Mangwenya. All of my social media platforms are Sympathy Mangwenya. And if they want to get directly to the women writers pages, they can go on social media, Women Writers Support Network Africa. And yes, the good thing is also they can also join the different initiatives in different countries, and they can also register their own chapter for those countries that we haven't registered yet. All right.
And on your shows, your TV shows, where can they get access to watch?
All right, so my TV shows, they air on DSTV channel 293, and the others, they come out from our social media platforms, which is 3KTV Zimbabwe. So yes, that's where they air.
DSTV 293, you said?
Yes, 293.
Okay, and then when are you guys airing your shows?
Monday and Tuesday. Monday, 21:30 hours, that is Central African time, and Tuesday, 8 o'clock in the morning, Central African time as well.
Okay. Sympathy, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for such information. And, you guys are doing a very good job. Just continue. And I hope that, like you have said earlier, nothing must stand on your way, for you to see this initiative just disappearing on the air, vanishing on the air just like others. So I just wish that this one stand the test of time and you guys get much help to continue with what you are doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the wonderful opportunity.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, you were watching On Writing with Onkarabile, the show that aims to promote reading and writing in our communities. We have come to the end of our session today, and please subscribe to Share Online, like and interview and share this inspirational interview. Thank you so much. See you next time on the same place, on the same time on Share Online, and thank you.